Bartlett here with My Vision Agency, and today I'm going to show you how to create a lead magnet funnel. Now, you can see the elements of a lead magnet funnel. We have two pages in our funnel. The first page of the funnel is the opt-in page. That is the page that contains a form, and we're offering them something free in exchange for the contact information. Now, after they enter that information, they are going to go to a thank you page where they're going to receive directions to get their free thing. You may offer to allow them to download the free thing or access the free thing on your thank you page. However, I really encourage you to use this thank you page to guide them back to their email address, because we want a couple things to happen. One, we want to verify that they actually entered a real email address. The next thing that makes this important is that we want them to actually go to their email address. We want them to open the email and we want them to click in the email. That does two things. It verifies that their email address is valid, but it also will allow us to retarget them with other ads and even improve our email sending reputation. So there's lots of things inside this process that's really going to help you, or it could actually hurt you. So what we really want to do, create that opt-in page where they enter in the form and then send them to a thank you page to go check their email for the free thing. Now, at the same time, when they enter in that form and now we have their email address, we want to actually set up an automation that's going to send that free thing to them so they can open and click in it. But that's not the end of that, right? The whole purpose of us to create a lead magnet funnel is to capture that contact information of our perfect customer. And then we want to retarget them with emails to tell them more about our business and how we can help them reach their goals with our solution. So let's go into the AI coach. I showed you yesterday how to actually create the lead magnet. So we created a free guide called The Ultimate Checklist for Effortless DIY Marketing. And we also created the email that we're going to deliver that checklist with. Okay. So we don't have to really worry about copywriting and all of those things. But we do need to create the lead magnet funnel. So the very first step of the funnel is going to be the form. So let's go into our form builder here and we're going to create the form. I can use a template here. So let's just go ahead and choose that. I can choose whatever template that I like. Okay, now we can design this template however we wish, but obviously the important parts are the fields. Okay, so you want to make sure if you're adding the fields to your form that you're capturing the data that you actually want. So I'm going to leave full name here. I'm going to leave email here. You can choose if you want to keep phone number or not. I will say that the phone number will allow you to send text messages and things like that. However, it will decrease your opt-in if you have the phone number on there. So it's totally up to you and your strategy, how you want to implement this. I'm also not going to put the organization. However, again, if that's something that you need to know, you should definitely do that. Now I'm going to keep this generic just like this is, but I do want to point out something. If you go click up here, this is a really important part that really throws a lot of people off. Now, you want to make sure that this is set to open URL, because if it's a message or it says order confirmation, that's what's going to show up here. That's going to be the default for this specific form. Now, I just want to leave it on open URL because I'm actually going to set the submit action inside the funnel. So I'm just going to leave this open-ended here. Let's go ahead and save this. And let's say this form is exactly what we want. So now I'm going to go back and let's remember it says lead generation. So let's go back here and let's actually create our funnel. So I'm going to go to funnels and we can click here. And again, we can choose a template, but I'm just going to make this, I'm going to start from blank and I'm just going to make this really simple. So let's say lead magnet funnel and create. So now I've created my blank funnel and there are two parts of this funnel that I need to include, and that's going to be the opt-in page. So I'm just going to call it opt-in page just for the sake of this training. And we could create a path here. So I'm going to do / and let's say opt-in, and we're not importing this. So I'm going to go ahead and create this step. All right, so now we have the opt-in page. Let's go ahead also and create the thank you page. So let's type in thank you. Let's do / thank you and create funnel step. So now we've created the two pages. Let's go to the opt-in page, create from blank. And the first step of any funnel is, of course, adding a section. Once you add the section, you need to add a row. And then you need to add an element. And now we want to select our form. So remember, we called it lead generation. So let's select that there. So now we have our form here. We want to set the action on the form. You can see here. And what this means is when they submit the form, what do we want to happen? So you can see here, it says use action from the form builder. So in that spot where I told you, make sure it's set to URL, it's kind of basically deactivates that because there's no URL for it to go to. However, we want it to go to the next step because you can see here, the next step is our thank you page. So we're going to choose next step and let's go ahead and save. And we don't have a domain connected to this, so we can't publish, but we can go ahead and save just to move on to the next step. All right. Now, we do need some copy here. Okay. We can't just say, sign up for free on the form. We need to have something to encourage them to sign up. Now, you can see back in our AI coach that we talked yesterday about the lead magnet builder and the lead magnet delivery email. We also have the opt-in page. Okay. So if we select that option there, we can choose, what language we want to use, what product we are promoting. And remember, we chose HighLevel. It's also going to choose our target audience here. So remember, our brand customer avatar is Sam, the 35-year-old business owner from Chicago, who's a hard worker, tired of spending so much money on marketing and advertising agencies and so on. Now, we can also pick a brand persona here or a target persona. So I'm just going to say Sam. And then what type of lead magnet or free download is your audience opting in for? Remember, yesterday we created a checklist. So I'm going to select that there. And then what is the title of your lead magnet or free download? Let's go back over here to the title and let's actually just copy this and paste it into the field. Now, what are some key excerpts from the content of your lead magnet or free download? All right, now tone of voice, pick an option from the drop down for your unique tone description. We can choose casual, conversational, inspirational. Let's just keep casual there and next. All right, so now we have our content here. So we have banner section, free checklist to help business owners achieve effortless DIY marketing. We have our headline here, our sub headline. We have some bullet points here. The checklist will show you how to, it explains all of that. Get it now button, created by, add a picture here, marketing expert who's helped thousands of business owners and so on. We have our opt-in form, get it now button, what other business owners are saying. So we even have some testimonials here. Here's what's inside your checklist, a message from creator's name, and so on. Now, you may not want to use all of it. You may want to use all of it. It's totally up to you how you structure that. Okay. So let's go back here now to our funnel here and let's go ahead. Actually, where are we at? Here we go. So now we have our opt-in page and thank you page. So that's what we were doing. Let's go back in there. Got myself confused here. Right, so we need to add a headline here. So I'm just going to click here to add elements. Let's go ahead and add a headline. And you can see here from our text, it says the banner section, free checklist. Okay, so we can say, let's add this here. And this really all goes into design, right? I would add the text element. Let's choose subheadline. I would want to paste this here. And then, of course, you can reduce the padding here around this so that there is not nearly the spacing that you would need for this. What we're trying to do is create like a color banner. I'm sure you guys have seen that lots of times on funnels and things. So let's just make this white. Okay, so quickly we did that. So that would be like the headline banner. Okay, so let's go back now to the headline here. So master DIY marketing and save costs. All right, so let's go back here. And now we have our headline. Now maybe we want to add some bullet points. Let's go ahead and add another section here, or actually rows. Let's say 2 rows. Let's move this down. All right, so now we have this. Let's actually move this form over here. Okay, let's just do this. Add a new form. We called it lead magnet or lead generation. right? All right, so now we could add our bullet points over here. So subheadline, perfect for business owners. All right, let's add some text up here. And I promise you guys, I'm not going to go through all of this because I don't want to spend a lot of your time. I just want you to see kind of how all of this goes together here. So we're literally at this point, we're just copying and pasting. Okay. So you can hit enter and add these. You can also change the letter spacing here, the line height. Like if you wanted to add more space like that, you can adjust that. Something I like to do as well, actually, is if you use the bullet points, even though it's made for bullet points like that, I just feel like it looks a little better to separate the bullet points. Totally up to you how you structure that. Let's go back here. Let's add our second bullet point. You can kind of see why I say that just kind of looks a little better. And of course, you always want to check the mobile view and make sure everything looks good on mobile. Of course, we want to save this. Let's say that we have built all of this out and it's perfect and we love it. You can see super cool. Now that you have the copy, it's really just a matter of designing it, making it pretty and all of that. Now make sure that since we chose that form, set our form action to go to the next step again, because we did change that. And then now let's go to the thank you page. Okay. So we've created our form there or our opt-in page. Now we have the thank you page here. We're going to start with a section here and then let's add the content and we're just saying thank you. You could actually use custom values. So if you wanted to say, and of course you can only do this on the thank you page because you have to capture the data first. But if you wanted to say thank you and then whatever the contact's first name is, you can do that there. So I'm just going to add a little bit more text and we're going to say check your inbox, spam, and promotions folder for your free guide. Now, I may be more specific, but this is basically what you want to put on there. We have the opt-in page. They opt in, they immediately go to this page here, and then we want them to go to their email. So that's the basic setup here of this particular lead magnet funnel. Now we need the automation part. We've set up the form to go to the thank you page, but we need to set up the part where the email gets sent. So let's go to automations. And let's build out a workflow here. So I'm just going to start from scratch because that's what I like to do. And let's call this lead magnet funnel. And what is the first step here? You guys let me know in the chat. What is the first step? What's going to be the trigger that's going to make this workflow or this automation work? Okay, time's up. It's going to be the form. All right. So they submit the form and not just any form. We want to make sure they're submitting the specific form to trigger this automation. So we're choosing form submitted and the form is our lead generation form. Now, what's the next step here? We could add a tag, which I love to do, and we could say lead magnet funnel, whatever we wanted to call it. We could update an opportunity pipeline. So we could say, this is now a lead. We could use the opportunity name, their full name. We could say the source. We could type in the source, or we could choose here to just choose the source. We could say if the status, the lead is open, we could add a value here, lots of things that we can do. Of course, the important part is we want to send an email. So we're going to choose send email. And then you want to put in your from name, your from email address, your subject line, like here is your free guide. And of course, you can choose a template. I'll show you that in just a second. Or you could just type this out. Here is your free guide. If you want to add a clickable link here, there's lots of things that you can do with that. So you could say download, highlight, go to link, and then paste your link there. Okay. You could do that, or you could also attach the document here. Okay. So let's go and grab the document. Now we've attached our document there. So now what's happening is They're going to our lead magnet funnel. They're opting in. They're going to the thank you page. It's directing them to their email address, which they should automatically receive this email here with the attachment that is the guide. You can choose to attach it, or you could add it as a link here. If you want to test this, all you need to do is just enter in whatever email address you want to send it to, and then do test email to make sure that it's exactly what you're looking for. Now, up here, I said that you can choose a template if you want to basically make it pretty. First, I have to always say, make sure once you get all this set up that you do publish this. If you wanted to use this template here, you didn't want to type all this out, what you want to do is go to your marketing tab. You want to go to email templates, and we're going to create a new template. Let's go ahead and just create a blank template. Let's choose the design editor. And of course, we can add images here and buttons, but the important part here is if you wanted to attach your guide here to a button, you want to drag in the button, and then you'll see here you can add the link to the button. You can also add the file here if you want to encourage them to download. And if you go into settings, you can preview the template here. And then you can also click here and then send yourself a test email to make sure that it looks and works and everything like you want it to work. So that is really the beginning to end, how you want to create a lead magnet funnel to ensure that you are delivering that lead magnet right away, and you set it up to get the best result for delivery, landing in the inbox. Now, if you guys have any questions at all, you can go to our community. You can go to the events tab here. You want to click on today's date, and you'll be able to click here to go right into the Zoom room to ask any questions that you have of myself or our community. If you're in our free community, it's the same process. You're just going to go to the events and then click on today's date. If you're not a member of our program or a free community and you're interested in signing up, you can join HighLevel here and get free access to our reseller program. You can join our reseller program here and resell our AI ads and sales bots, as well as get access to our other tools, coaching, and resources. If you're not interested in reselling software, but you want to save thousands of dollars a month on our software bundle and get all of our tools for one low price, you can choose this option here. You can join our free community here for open office hours, tools, courses, and more. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Go make your